What makes good media training versus when you said some of it might have been a bit stilted and not quite right? What's the difference?
Oh, I think role playing is important, and I think the media training. So, I know the work that I did with you. Sometimes, Anthony, you've actually got to be tougher than what the real journalists are going to be. You know, train hard, fight easy was the saying we had back in Defence Force. I think it's the same. You've actually got to anticipate the absolute worst question or the worst scenario, because you probably rarely ever get that.
You talked a little bit before about mock interviews and their value. How well do they actually help you prepare?
Oh, look, I think building a very realistic scenario, so you obviously need to do scenario based training. So you need to be working with someone who can deliver that to you, and then have scenarios where you can prepare for those scenarios and do the training, and also be surprised by some things, because I think the art of learning this sort of thing is not. Look, so sometimes you can absolutely do some of the worst scenario based or mock interview type training. You can actually be terrible at it, and then you go and do a real one the next day, and you probably come off quite well. But I think the secret is also, you don't want to over prepare such that you come across like a robot. People like storytelling, and I think it's important to be able to tell stories authentically and with your own personality. So you don't want to be reading off a script or replicating that. But I think it, just like anything, it is just a good form of training, and it just gets you mentally adept to be ready for the worst possible question. Know that you've got a pretty boring answer to that question, so that you've got a defense. But in reality, you're still able to actually talk about some of the key things that you'd like to communicate in the spokesperson role.